and welcome back to Drinking by My Shelf. This weekend, everyone knows there is something pretty big and exciting happening. Just a little ceremony that we like to call the Oscars. Yes, this is a genuine Oscar here that I won for Best YouTube Video. So that's fun and everyone likes that. So I thought that I would join in on the fun and do basically the exact same thing, except that I'm not in a fancy dress, and instead of being surrounded by celebrities, I'm drinking alone in my flat and filming myself. But other than that, it's basically exactly as glamorous. So yeah, this is the book Oscars, because I don't watch enough movies to join in with the movie Oscars, and anyway, that's not what you guys subscribed for. We're going to talk about books, and we're going to judge them, and we're going to give them prizes. Obviously, there were a ton of books that came out in 2017, but of those that were released in the UK in 2017, I have read 56 of them. So I'm going to be judging my Oscars out of that pool of 56 books. Okay, let's do this. Let's give out some prizes. The first category on my Oscars list is Best Actor. In other words, the Best Male Leading Character. And the winner is Unnamed Character from You Don't Know Me by Imran Mahmood. This character does not have a name, but he was such an interesting character. I listened to that one on audiobook, and basically the whole book is this defense speech that this unnamed character is making in court. He's been accused of a crime and he fires his defense lawyer and gives his own speech of why he's innocent. And there are so many twists and turns. I thought it was such a well done book, and in particular I thought this character felt so real. He was not a black and white character at all. He was not 100% innocent or 100% guilty. So, he wins an Oscar! Well done, unnamed character! Woo! Your name will be in lights, but you don't have one. Moving on to Best Actress, or Best Female Leading Character, I struggled with this category, so I'm going to give some runners-up. They give runners-up in the Oscars, right? Or nominees, it's the same kind of thing. So, my two runners-up have to be Eleanor Oliphant from Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, and Star from The Hate U Give, which I thought were two really well-written female characters. And I would have loved to give them the prize, but I just had to make room for my favourite female character of all the books I read in 2017, and that is Evelyn Hugo from The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I loved this book. You may have heard me raving about it. I thought it was just fucking ace. And the character of Evelyn Hugo herself was so beautifully crafted. I cried along with her every step of her journey. She was a really tragic and glamorous and somehow relatable character, despite her life being so different from mine. She is exactly the type of character that I haven't read enough of in books and really want to read more of. So, Oscar for Evelyn Hugo! You go, Evelyn Hugo! Best Ensemble Cast. This is a category that does not exist at the Oscars. It exists in other award ceremonies, but I'm stealing it because I want to use it for the book that had the best ensemble cast. And that one was a pretty easy decision for me. It just had to be Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng, which I've rambled on about for hours on this channel, but my favourite thing about it was the range of characters that we met and fell in love with in this book. They're all so different. They all have their flaws, but you love each and every one of them. Cheers! An Oscar for them! And now for Best Cinematography, or in book world, Best Use of Setting. I love books that really use their setting in a creative way. And there was one book that came out in 2017 which really made a very dramatic use of its setting and did that very well. And that book was Fierce Kingdom by Gin Phillips. The whole of this book is set in a zoo after closing time, and it is a very scary and tense and claustrophobic book, and I thought that Gin Phillips used the setting of the zoo brilliantly to make that atmosphere happen. Which is why she wins this! The Oscar for Best Cinematography in a book! Now a category that everybody loves, that is Best Costume Design, or in other words, the best cover design. Here on BookTube, we love books with beautiful covers, and I acquired a lot of them in 2017, but there was one standout for me. This book is just so beautiful, it makes me happy every time I look at it. And I now own it in hardback and paperback, even though it's the exact same design, just because I love it so much I want to have it twice. And that cover is The Night the Lights Went Out by Karen White. Look at this gorgeous use of colour. Everything about it is so stunning. I want this outfit. I love the font. I love the stripes. Can you see it? It's so pretty. And so it's going home with an Oscar. Now for Best Supporting Actor, that often overlooked category. We're looking at the best supporting characters in books. And for this one, I'm going with a character written by an author who I always praise his side characters. I think he writes the most incredible friendships. They're my favourite friendships to read, really. He's a YA author and I love having great friendships represented in YA books. I think that's fantastic. So I always love his supporting characters, but this year the winner is Wade from History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. Wade is the best friend of the two main characters, and we see him be a really good friend throughout the book. And I really just want him to also be my best friend. And so I'm giving him an Oscar in the hopes that he will come to life and be my best friend. And now for Best Original Screenplay, which I have somehow decided means Best Plot. And that's a tricky one because obviously I loved the plots of all of the books that I loved this year. But in terms of originality and an unexpected direction to take an interesting premise in, I thought that the best plot of the books I read that came out last year was in The Power by Naomi Alderman. Did it come out? It came out in 2016. I can't use it. Literally, as I'm standing here holding it, I suddenly realised it came out in 2016 in the UK. It came out in 2017 in the US. So we can't use you. I'm so sorry. You had a great plot, but you're out. You're disqualified from the Oscars. Crikey. What am I going to use instead? Please hold while I look at my list of books. Okay, I've got it, but this is a book that I don't own. I'm going to give a last-minute award for Best Plot to All Are Wrong Todays by Alan Mastai. Because A, this is a time travel book, and if you know me, you know I love time travel. But it was also, I thought, a pretty cool and unique spin on the time travel novel, in that it starts off in an alternate reality, and then when the main character goes back in time and accidentally changes things, he comes forward to find himself in our world, which to him is like a dystopian universe. I thought that was really cool. So, to Absent Friends, because I don't own that book, but well done, All Are Wrong Todays. You swooped in last minute and stole that from The Power, which seems pretty ironic because The Power's like feminist book, and now I'm just accidentally last minute giving the award to a man, but men deserve awards too, hashtag not all men. Oh my god, have I become not a feminist now? What's happening? Let us move quickly on from that disaster. We're moving on to the Best Adapted Screenplay, which in my version is still the Best Adapted Screenplay. For this category, I am looking at the film or TV adaptations that came out this year that were originally based on books. And for the purposes of this, I'm saying that I didn't necessarily have to have read the book. So you might disagree with me because people who've read the book might say that it wasn't a very good adaptation, and that would be fair enough, but I just don't watch enough movies or TV to have the category be that narrow. So I'm just going with anything that I watched that I know was originally based on a book. And this one came really close in the end because there were two fantastic TV shows that I watched this year. So my runner-up that I'm giving it to was The Handmaid's Tale, which I thought was brilliant, and I have read the book and I thought it was a really great adaptation of that book, updating it for our modern age. So, really want to give the Oscar to The Handmaid's Tale, but I just had to give it to Big Little Lies. Come on, Reese Witherspoon. I haven't read the book Big Little Lies, so I don't know if it's a perfect adaptation. I know that they moved it from Australia to California, so that's a big change, but I never thought that I would be this engaged by a group of like California mums at the school gates. Obviously there's also like the murder element, but I genuinely feel like I cared more about the drama between the mums for most of it, which I never thought would happen. So that was really clever that they made that so engaging. And it's all thanks to Reese Witherspoon. And also to Nicole Kidman, who acted her fucking ass off in that show. She was divine. For the Best Director category, I have made that into the Best Writing. And the author that is going to win that award from me this year is Celeste Ng again! Little Fires Everywhere was so wonderfully written. I couldn't fault her writing style in any way. I haven't gone back yet to read Celeste Ng's first novel, but I can't wait to do so because I just know I'm going to love it if it's anything like the writing in this. That is the second Oscar of the night for Celeste Ng, so you can tell that I really liked this book. And finally, on to the big one, the category that we have all been waiting for. It's not Best Film because we're not at the real Oscars, but it is Best Book. what was the best book that came out in 2017 of all the ones that I've read, because I can't judge the others. And I'm going to put all of my nominees up on the screen now so you can see my shortlist for the best book of the year, because everything that's currently on your screen was fantastic. But only one can win, and that winner is, drumroll please, La La Land! Oh god damn it, Emma. That joke is literally a year old. I'm so sorry. Lol, no. The winner is Beartown by Frederick Backman. This I thought was the best book that came out in 2017. In very good company, because it's a really hard decision to make between everything else that I just showed you, which are all also fantastic. This was the book that I most fell in love with and that I most just want to keep giving to people and making them read it, because I thought it was beautifully written. I thought the characters were amazing. It also had an amazing ensemble cast of characters. The message was really powerful and strong. It made me care about things that I didn't think I ever would, like ice hockey, for example. And it made me sad and angry throughout, but it made me properly sob happy tears at the end. And those really are all the ingredients for a great book, which is why it is getting the Oscar from me for best book. So that's it. Thank you to everyone for coming to my Oscars ceremony. Every bit as glamorous as the real deal. Please do leave me comments below letting me know who your winners were for each category. And of course, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and hit that subscribe button for new videos every Friday. See you next time.